Welcome to another episode of the MemcycoFM show. Today we're diving deep into a really critical and constantly shifting area of digital security. We're talking about how to move beyond that sort of outdated phishing protection and really embrace real-time brand impersonation defense. And look, this isn't just some IT infrastructure issue. It's fundamentally about safeguarding your brand's integrity and maybe most importantly, your customers' trust. Our mission today, well, it's to unpack why those traditional defenses just aren't cutting it anymore in today's, rapid fire threat landscape. And then we'll explore the cutting edge strategies, the capabilities you actually need to truly protect against modern brand impersonation.
Yeah, and what's truly striking here, I think, is the sheer agility of cybercriminals. They are constantly evolving their tactics. They move at a speed that really forces organizations to fundamentally rethink their whole approach to protection. We're seeing this necessary shift from reactive damage control to genuinely proactive real-time defense. So we'll really dig into the why behind this urgent need for change today.
All right, let's start peeling back the layers here. You might hear phishing protection and think, okay, that's pretty clear. Tools, strategies to stop criminals impersonating your brand, stealing data. Simple enough, right? But the truth is, the landscape has changed dramatically. From the material we've looked at, a really central problem keeps emerging. Many security teams, digital teams, they're still relying on traditional things like, basic email filters, takedown services, maybe some general brand education. But these measures, as our sources consistently highlight, they really only scratch the surface of today's problem.
Exactly. The old guard, the traditional approach, often relies on passive monitoring. Things like scanning domain registrations, maybe waiting for customer complaints to roll in, or just hoping phishing sites eventually show up on some threat feed. The crucial point here, and frankly it's kind of terrifying, is that these tactics only kick in after an impersonation attempt is already live, after the damage has already started.
Right, it's like getting a fire alarm after the house is visibly burning.
Precisely. By then, your customers could already be caught in the crosshairs, your brand's reputation is already taking a hit, and the cost of that delay, even just a few hours, can be truly staggering. Brand impersonation, it's become this fast-moving, multi-channel problem, which means most traditional defenses, they're reacting far too late. Attackers are simply moving faster and, honestly, impersonating brands far more convincingly than ever before. So to really counter this effectively, modern robust phishing protection simply must include three essential interconnected capabilities. First, you need genuine visibility. Real-time visibility into impersonation attempts as they happen. Second, you need active prevention that genuinely stops users from being harmed before the damage is done. And third, disruption. You need ways to disrupt the attacker's infrastructure and their overall behavior, make their lives harder.
And it's really clear from our research, achieving these capabilities isn't just like a minor upgrade, it's a completely different ballgame. It requires tools that go way beyond simple DNS monitoring or, say, DMARC enforcement. And for those maybe less familiar, DMARC is like an advanced spam filter, helps authenticate email, great for what it does, but these new tools we're talking about, they go much deeper. They catch threats at levels DMARC just physically can't see.
Okay, so if we're aiming for that real-time, proactive defense, what's the foundational pillar? How do organizations even start detecting these subtle early signs?
Well, that's where preemptive visibility comes in. And honestly, this is where it gets really interesting. It's the ability to detect signs of brand impersonation during the earliest stages of attack preparation. You might ask, how can you possibly see an attack before it's even launched?
Yeah, that sounds almost impossible. It sounds like it. But it's about monitoring signals that actually originate on your own legitimate site. That's often where attacker behavior reveals itself first. We're talking about identifying, say, self-built phishing sites, or those created using popular cloning kits they use to replicate your pages. And crucially, it means actively looking for suspicious developer tool activity.
Developer tools,
Yeah,
like the things web developers use.
exactly. Think of it like a burglar scoping out a house, checking windows, doors, planning their entry. Attackers use digital developer tools to inspect your legitimate site, figure out how it's built, plan their replica, and prepare their fake pages. And the key is, we can now detect these preparatory steps before they even publish a fake site online. You also layer in things like spoof domain detection, catching those lookalike website names, and SSL certificate mismatch monitoring to find suspicious infrastructure before it even goes live.
Wow. So it really is about anticipating their next move, almost like a cybersecurity chess match. That's a huge leap from the reactive playbook most organizations are still using, isn't it?
It absolutely is.
Catching threats before they even start, that's definitely getting ahead of the curve. But, okay, what happens if an attack does manage to slip through that initial net? Or maybe a user clicks on something that's already out there, already in motion. That's where that in-the-moment defense becomes your critical second line, right? Why is acting in session right at that moment so vital?
Because even a short delay, literally minutes, can result in immediate account compromise or data theft. It happens that fast. So the best practice now is to implement in-session protection. Protection that identifies and responds to spoofing attempts the moment a user interacts with them. This real-time visibility lets you act before stolen credentials are used, before sensitive data is exfiltrated. And there are some brilliant techniques involved here, like red alerts. Imagine a big warning popping up instantly if a user lands on a detected phishing page.
Okay, like a direct warning.
Exactly. Or even better, something called decoy credential injection. Imagine a user types their login details into a phishing site. With this tech, the system subtly replaces their real details with fake, useless ones the moment they type them. It's like sending the attackers off on a wild goose chase with completely garbage data. It renders their whole effort pointless.
Huh, that's clever. You're essentially poisoning their stolen data.
You are. Plus, it involves flagging and, where appropriate, even locking out repeat attackers or suspicious devices trying to access your genuine login portals. You see the patterns and you shut them down. And if you connect this to the bigger picture, this kind of in-session defense is absolutely critical, especially when phishing campaigns target high-value accounts or spread rapidly through channels like SMS or increasingly paid search ads. The speed of the attack really necessitates this speed of defense.
That in-session defense sounds incredibly powerful, but, given how sophisticated attackers are we still mostly seeing email as their main weapon, or have they found new sort of invisible ways to reach users?
That's a critical question. And you're right to ask. While email phishing absolutely persists, the landscape has definitely broadened dramatically. Many attacks now exploit these less visible vectors that can bypass traditional email filters and many threat detection tools. We're talking primarily about things like search engine manipulation, often called SEO poisoning, and also third-party redirect abuse.
SEO poisoning, so tricking search engines.
Exactly. Getting fake sites to rank highly for your brand terms, sometimes even higher than your real site. Or using redirects from compromised websites or low-reputation sites to funnel users into scams without them even realizing it. So the best practice here is you need to track how users actually arrive at your site. Analyze that referral traffic, look at the SEO patterns. This can reveal when impersonators are hijacking your brand presence online or actively redirecting your potential customers into scams.
So what does that look like in practice? How do you spot it?
Well, you might see, for example, a sudden spike in traffic coming from weird, compromised, or low-reputation websites. Or you might find fake sites managing to outrank your real ones in search results for your own brand name because they've used manipulative SEO tactics. So, to counter this, you need strategies like constantly analyzing inbound traffic for unusual referral patterns. You need to track those first-time referrers that spike suddenly, especially if they lead directly to login flows. That's a big red flag. And detecting that SEO manipulation early by monitoring which keywords are being hijacked, which fake pages are showing up where they shouldn't be. It's really about seeing the entire journey your user might take, not just assuming they started with an email.
It's clear that today's phishing attacks definitely don't just stick to websites anymore. We're seeing threat actors increasingly targeting mobile and social channels. So what does truly channel-agnostic protection mean for these new frontiers? How do you actually defend everywhere?
It means you have to treat mobile and social channels as primary phishing vectors because, well, they absolutely are now. The attack surfaces are huge. Fake mobile apps mimicking your brand in app stores, brand impersonation showing up in paid ads on search and social, and scams spreading like wildfire across countless social platforms. So for protection, the best practices involve things like relentlessly monitoring Google Play and the Apple App Store daily for apps misusing your brand name or your visual assets.
Daily monitoring, that sounds intensive.
It has to be, because fake apps pop up and disappear so quickly. It also means scanning paid ad platforms, Google ads, social media ads, looking for impersonation of your domain or branding in those ads, and detecting traffic coming into your real site that actually originated from one of these fraudulent ad campaigns. That's a key signal. And yes, you absolutely need brand monitoring tools to detect unauthorized profiles, scam accounts, fake pages on platforms like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, even emerging ones like Telegram. They're everywhere.
Wow. That really drives home why you have to be actively monitoring all these different environments. It's about detecting those impersonation attempts early and protecting customers across every single digital touch point. It's just not enough anymore to only secure your website, is it?
Yeah, you're close.
Okay, so our final best practice seems to connect all these threads together. It addresses why fragmented phishing protection efforts so often miss the full picture. You mentioned silos earlier, like maybe the Security Operations Center, SOC team, detects weird login anomalies, but they don't know it's driven by phishing. Or maybe the fraud team lacks device-level insight into a suspicious login attempt. These disconnects, they significantly delay response and resolution, right? So what's the power of breaking down those walls?
The power is immense. The real benefit of integration is having shared signals and unified workflows across your fraud teams, your SOC, and your digital or marketing teams. This drastically improves detection accuracy because everyone has more context. It shortens response times because the right information gets to the right people faster. And it enables properly coordinated remediation. So for instance, it means sharing device fingerprints and phishing indicators like, this device just came from a known phishing site, directly with the fraud teams. That strengthens their models for catching account takeover attempts. It means instantly alerting SOC analysts not just about a weird login, but about a phishing-driven login attempt, complete with device anomalies so that they can respond with the full picture. And it means equipping those digital and marketing teams with crucial visibility into ad spoofing, referral scams, site spoofing threats that directly impact user experience, damage brand perception, and even hurt conversion rates.
Right. So if I'm understanding this correctly, when these protection efforts operate in isolation, threats just inevitably fall through the cracks. It's almost guaranteed. But when they're integrated, phishing defense stops being just a cost center. It actually becomes a source of invaluable intelligence for the entire organization. It strengthens everything from core security right through to the customer experience.
Exactly. It becomes a force multiplier.
Now, let's talk about a solution that seems to really embody these modern best practices we've been discussing. We're talking about MemcyCo. It's described as real-time impersonation protection that delivers what most brand defenses currently lack. That genuine visibility into individual victims, session-level attack detection, and crucially automated disruption.
Yeah, MemcyCo really enhances phishing protection in some unique ways, primarily because it operates at the browser level. This gives it unparalleled visibility into many of these emerging threats that other tools miss. For instance, remember our first pillar, preemptive visibility. MemcyCo's website cloning detection and its developer tools reconnaissance detection directly tackle this. They provide that early warning of active impersonation attempts and expose those early signs of phishing campaign preparation we talked about, catching them before the site even goes live.
So it directly addresses that need to see things early.
Correct. And for in-session prevention, its decoy credential injection capability. It doesn't just block an attack, it actually turns the tables. It turns their scams into honeypots, actively disrupting the account takeover, ATO chain, by feeding them useless data. It also offers those real-time red alerts we discussed, warning victims immediately, limiting damage, enabling a fast response. And its SEO poisoning defense helps keep those fake pages out of search results, directly addressing our third pillar about detecting those hidden channels.
And it works even if the site isn't on a blacklist yet.
That's a crucial point because MemcyCo operates based on browser layer signals, how the site behaves, how it was built, where the user came from. It can detect phishing activity even when the phishing site is brand new and not yet listed in any threat feed or block list. This provides significant benefits for security, fraud, and digital teams. And importantly, it does this without degrading the user experience or requiring any cumbersome changes or installs on the end user side.
Okay, so it really sounds like MemcyCo doesn't just detect impersonation. It helps you actively preempt damage, respond before compromise happens, and ultimately secure customer trust in a way traditional methods simply can't match. It's truly about moving from just reacting to being genuinely proactive.
That's the goal, yes.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive, here's a thought for you listening. Phishing protection. It's no longer just some compliance checkbox or, solely an IT concern. It's fundamentally a brand-level customer trust issue now. And relying on those passive reactive defenses in today's rapidly accelerating phishing landscape, well, it means you're not just falling behind the threat curve, you're pretty much willingly leaving your brand vulnerable.
And speed isn't just important here, it's absolutely essential. We see data showing the window of exposure for many phishing sites is often under 6 hours now. 6 hours. That makes real-time phishing protection the only viable path forward if you want to prevent fraud at scale and truly protect your customers.
So here's a final question to mull over. In an age where digital trust feels like it's constantly under siege, how quickly can your organization detect and respond to these subtle, pervasive brand impersonation threats before they compromise your brand and seriously erode your customers' confidence? If you're curious to see how real-time brand impersonation events could make a difference for your organization, you can learn more by booking a demo to see the MemcyCo solution in action.